Hello and welcome to the Arsenal BiteSize Podcast. We're here to preview the Fulham game at the Emirates tomorrow at 3 p.m. UK. I'm, of course, FPL Nima, and I'm joined by my co host Clayton at Clates AFC. Yeah, I'm excited to go to my first game of the season at the Emirates. I'm hoping for a big fuck off win. This is going to be a serious match. I think Fulham so far, it's only been 2 games, but they've had like an XG conceded of over 6, and they've not
I
exactly
think one of
played
the
great
worst in the
opponents.
league, right?
I think it's the worst in the league by a distance, and they've not even played very good teams. So,
Yeah.
they played like Everton, and like they're not exactly playing strong teams, and they've conceded that many chances. I know they've not like conceded so many goals, but the underlying
The
numbers are
chances,
shocking.
yeah.
Yeah, it's
Because
shocking stuff.
Everton, Leno, that was a masterclass, right?
Yeah, that win there, like that was, I don't know, like I don't
That
know
was
how you can win
shithouse.
that
Like,
game. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, like that they did, like Everton should have won that game. Having Morpie up top probably did major damage for them. I think with Fulham, the big issue with them right now is that obviously Mitrovic was with them through like all these seasons, through the promotion, through the last time they were in the Prem. It's 40 goals in the Championship. Like he's kind of ingrained into the club's soul, and I feel like with
And now
him
he's just
gone,
gone.
like yeah,
Yeah.
like what are they doing? And they've brought in Jimenez, and he's not really been the same since his head injury.
No,
So
sadly, yeah.
it's really tough for them, I think. And obviously, Willian still has question marks over his head about Saudi. I know they tried to buy the manager as well, but I think he's turned it
Yeah.
down. So, the club is in a real bad situation. So I don't think there could be a better time for us to face them
Completely
after
agree.
2 non-convincing victories of our own and
Yeah.
really just go out there and prepare for this Man United game the week after.
Yeah. And
So yeah,
obviously,
that's kind of this preset of all this.
Jesus is back in full training, which is great. And I guess that leads on to will he be in the squad? And do you think he'll be in the team? Should we do predicted lineups?
Yeah, I think so. And obviously, it's lovely to see him in actual team training rather than like just on his own. Like
Yeah,
seeing him in full
exactly.
contact team training, that is very exciting. Maybe he comes off the bench to prep him for the Man United game. I don't know if that's
That's what
wishful
I
thinking.
think. No, that's exactly what I think. So on screen we've got the lineup versus Palace. Obviously it was Ramsdale and just going player by player just for sake of ease of saying who's on screen. So Ramsdale in goal. Also, I apologize for my illness is like knocking me out. So if I'm not with it today, I apologize. I feel like fucked. So yeah, Ramsdale was in goal. It was Partey, White, Saliba, Tomiyasu obviously got sent off. Odegaard, Rice, Havertz, and then Saka and Nketiah, Martinelli. I feel quite confident for once in what I think the team will be. So should I kick it off?
Yeah, go for it. Yeah, you start because I'm not confident at all about what the team will be.
Okay, so I think Partey's going to drop out of this game,
Hmm.
and I think we're going to go because of Timber being out, because of Tomiyasu's red card. I think for Gabriel owners, keep him. I think he's going to come back in against Fulham, and we're going to go. In terms of the keeper, I think it will be Ramsdale, but I wouldn't be shocked if Raya gets a little nod here, just kind of ease him in against Fulham where they've not got much goal threat. We'll have a lot of the ball. We'll kind of be like thinking field tilt wise, you'll probably be pinned in their half sort of thing. And I wouldn't be surprised if it's just like Raya gets this one and then Ramsdale comes back in for Man United sort of vibes. But yeah, that's just one that keep an eye out on. So anyway, fuck it. I'm putting myself out there. I'm going Raya. And then I think it'll be White, Saliba, Gabriel Zinchenko,
Hmm.
Odegaard, Rice, Havertz, Saka, Nketiah, Martinelli. And I think Jesus will probably be on the bench and come off.
So you reckon it's Partey the one who misses out here?
I think so. I think it will be a case of kind of, give him I don't think we're going to need him in this game. I'm very, very, very confident. And I know Palhinha's back, but it shouldn't change too much for us. And I think it's another one, just kind of rest party for Man United the following week, sort of thing.
Yeah, I
So
do like
that's
the
what I'm going
idea
with.
of when the full 11's fit with like the likes of Jesus and Zinchenko. I do think maybe Partey's used for some bigger games and not getting run-outs every week. But I guess I don't know what your thoughts are, but obviously in January we get to like AFCON and the Asian Cup of Nations, all these kind of things. If Ghana go far, like obviously Partey could be missing for all of January. I think there's only 2 Prem games and then not bad Prem games, but there are Cup games as well then.
Okay.
And there were some theories about, is he actually playing Partey out there? Because he doesn't want to build the midfield around him, knowing that he'll then be gone for a month in January potentially. So that was like something to also think about, which then means like, could we see him playing more from this inverted role in the future rather than
Do
actually
you
like
buy into that? I
build?
don't at all personally.
No, I don't. I don't
Yeah, it's
think
just
so
worth
either.
kind of
Yeah, I just want to put it
acknowledging
out
the
there,
idea.
yeah,
Yeah, for sure.
because it's always good to put them out there because then you can kind of have it in the back of your mind when you see the future lineups and
Yeah.
help you shape like why is Arteta making the changes. I also heard, I think it was Elliot on Arsenal Vision. He asked a pretty bullish question, and he was like, Fulham at home, and we just said they're like the worst defenses I mentioned. Is it crazy to think that Gabriel would miss out again, even if Zinchenko starts? And would Arteta go full nuts and go like party inverted right back, Zinchenko
And
inverted left back, and just put them both on and be like, let me see how this goes. This is the worst team we could face at home this season. Let's just give it a go. Let's just put the entire team up front.
possibly, yeah, I wouldn't put it past him. I don't. Yeah, I wouldn't put it past him. I
It
think
seems
he'll go
aggressive,
with.
doesn't it?
It
Like
seems
two
too
centre backs
aggressive. Yeah,
and Rice, two centre backs and Rice, basically. Like that's the back three, essentially, is what we're saying in that lineup.
yeah, because Timber and Tomiyasu had quite instructed defensive roles in that system, and I think Zinchenko's best abilities comes from doing what Partey was doing, and I think if you got both of them doing that, I think it. But although Partey did play more of a traditional right back role last week, so maybe
So maybe that was in prep for this. Is what I mean. Like we just don't know with Arteta. This
no,
season predicting the lineups is disgusting. And then Nketiah. So we talked about the backline. Nketiah. Is there a world in which Trossard gets in at striker or at left centre mid and Havertz goes up top?
there
Like
is.
I don't think Eddie's done anything wrong, but does he maybe want to just see someone else or try a few more kind of relationship building with different players and learn what everyone's like playing with different trios together?
100% there's a world where that happens. Yeah, like yeah, there's so many different selections. I think you could just see where it's like, okay, yeah, I can see that happening. And that's what so although I said I'm confident, it's more like that's the team I've kind of landed on that I think it will be, but I don't think I'll ever be like more than 70% confident in a predicted 11 this season. Because if you
Not
think
like
of
last year, yeah.
yeah, but if you think of the game tactically, like it does suit a Trossard where him and Havertz can potentially continuously interlink. Trossard drifts, makes space and stuff because of
That's my
Fulham.
kind of thinking because it felt like Havertz was taking up sometimes positions that Eddie would have dropped from striker back into.
Yeah,
And so then they were like in the same place and like blocking each other in a way. And I wonder if we've said Havertz will probably come much better once he has people like Jesus and Zinchenko to play off. So if you suddenly add in like a Zinchenko and a Trossard, maybe you get to see a little bit more from Havertz this game and see what else he can do going forwards rather than just on the defensive side of the role and
yeah.
off the ball.
So
I think
do you think
my
he'll come in
predicted
then?
11, yeah. So my predicted 11 would be I think it will be Ramsdale, but
Sure.
the back line I think it will be similar to what you said. So White, Saliba, Gabriel, and Zinchenko. I think the midfield will be Odegaard, Rice, Havertz,
Okay.
and I think it might be Saka, Trossard, Martinelli.
Sure.
That's something I'm just wondering there to see how that goes. But even though Trossard would start up top, I wonder if him and Havertz just kind of rotate in and out of
Yeah.
left centre mid and striker throughout the game with each other, depending on
I think they
confusing the
would.
opponent and losing
Yeah.
runners.
Yeah, and that again, that's something I can see. I think it goes two ways in my head. One is like I can see the game tactically where we need Trossard for the reasons you just said, and then the other is we need an Nketiah because they'll just be pinned in the box, and we just kind of need a focal point. And I can't quite work out in my head which way the manager would lean. So I think for me, it's very clear how much faith he has in Nketiah, and that's why I just kind of defaulted towards that one more. And I think I got educated myself on the whole Trossard up top thing because in pre-season, when Jesus was out, I was quite bullish on okay, I think it will be Trossard, not Nketiah, and then like you had people like Bobby and Adam 35 who kind of made the point, and then you saw Nketiah was actually given the nod,
Yeah,
and
because when you saw
Bobby's
pre-season, Trossard actually played more left wing and left centre mid, right? We didn't actually see him play through the
yeah,
middle.
and then Bobby actually made a really good point, which I didn't really know. Last year when Trossard was up top, it was only actually, I think I may have got this wrong, but he was roughly saying like it happened a couple of times when Nketiah wasn't actually available.
It was when Nketiah was out as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which I didn't really realize. So I think that's kind of recalibrated how I
I
think
almost
about
feel
it a
like
bit.
Havertz is the plan C up top rather than Trossard after both Jesus and Eddie almost. And I wonder
Perhaps.
if it's against the tougher opponents or like where you're trying to like hold on to a lead. Obviously, we had like 10 defenders on the pitch and then Havertz at the top of the
Yeah,
formation when we had 10 man. So it was like he was just there as an outlet, like a tall guy to lump the ball up to if we can relieve some pressure when we're defending with like everyone
exactly.
else is a defender on the pitch, basically, when he made those
Yeah.
subs.
One thing obviously I've had Havertz in FPL and I've been shouting about it a lot. I feel this is the one, you know. I feel like this might be the one. Kind of kiss and dump him. Get him
I
a
don't
couple of
see,
goals for
yeah,
him.
I don't see him dropped in this one. I've actually got a lot of like Gooner friends who like they're not active on social media or anything. They just like watch the games and they're massive fans. They go to matches, but it's interesting to see their takes are very different to mine about Havertz. Like they're completely different,
What's
and
their takes?
yeah, so they're like, oh, he needs to earn his start. He shouldn't be starting. Like they're like, even Vieira should start ahead of him. I'm like, what are you guys smoking? Like, I'm like, am I watching the same guy? He's won 8 duels in both games, won the most. He's a duel monster, and no one can find his runs because they don't have the relationships with him yet. Like, I'm like, he's not even playing with our first 11 on that side with Zinchenko and Jesus. Like, so I was a bit baffled, to be honest with you, but I'll tell you the exact words they use just to see if anyone in the live chat
I'm
is
not
of a
gonna
similar
lie.
opinion.
I I am. I
But so it's the
the
wording they're using. So they're saying
yeah.
Havertz is definitely going to be our flop of the season.
Oh right, no. Okay.
65 million is too much. I'd rather Emil starts and have Havertz earn his start. And I'm like, what's Emil done to earn his start? Like
Yeah.
what? Like how does those two sentences make sense? Like in my opinion, Havertz has dropped 2 7 out of 10s. He's not
Yeah. I
shown
think
much going forwards, but he's clearly come in. And if this is his flaw, is that he can come in and just settle in and play without our full 11 out and look fine, then what would he look like? Like obviously, if this was his ceiling, I'd be like, okay, that might be a flop for 65 million. But for me, this is just the beginning. I don't
yeah.
know
I
how
think
they're looking to dump him out. And they're saying agreed or even Vieira. Trossard, Smith Rowe, and Vieira must be looking at my man in training and be like, how is he starting ahead of me? But then people were saying Trossard wants to leave because he's not playing. And then Trossard just gave an interview saying, I'm so happy about the signings of
yeah,
Havertz
no,
and
that's
Rice, and we're a
nonsense.
much
Yeah.
better squad now. So I
Where
think they underestimate like these players appreciate that there's competition and that
yeah.
makes them
Oh,
want to play
100%.
better. That's the kind of mentality we try to bring into the squad, right?
Yeah. I think where I'm at is I think people are going way overboard on the whole, oh look, he's won duels because let's be honest, he's disappointed output wise. I think I agree with the notion that he's made runs and people haven't found him and relationships and stuff, but I think it's also okay to admit
But put it this way, if Martinelli took that shot that, Havertz found him in open space and scored it like even Anthony might have done,
yeah,
what would
but
we be saying? Like, this is what I'm trying to say. Like,
I think I'd still be the same. I think
but
I'd
like, have
want
you seen
more
anyone
proud.
criticizing Martinelli for that miss? It's funny
Yeah,
how
I
when
think
it's our
it's
favorites,
no,
they don't
I don't
really get
know,
the noise isn't
but
as loud, is it?
I think people are really overblown because I think anyone who would have played in the left eight role. Basically, I don't think Havertz has done anything unique. As good as his
Mm.
defensive work has been and his movement, I don't think that's unique.
But
I
isn't
think
that
that's
interesting in itself? Because before this season, right, everyone was saying, oh, he's going to be a bad replacement for Xhaka because even though we think he's better in the final third, he can't do any of the off the ball stuff.
yeah,
He's then come in and done the opposite of what we
yeah,
expected. He's
no,
done all the off the ball stuff,
and
and then
even
he's
for
actually
myself,
lacking in the front line.
yeah, and even for myself, like I kind of had the narrative in my head. I perceived him as a lazy player, and so it's been good to see that. But basically, for people that are saying I would be happy to see someone else at left eight, I don't really think there's much to argue on right now. I think it's one of, like I think Havertz will come
That's
good. I
fine,
think he'll
but they're
do
saying
well, but
Vieira. Vieira's been playing at right eight as Odegaard
yeah.
cover. So, like, this is what I mean. Like, what Arsenal are these guys watching that they're saying Havertz should earn his starts, but Vieira and
Yeah, I
Smith
think
Rowe
it's
have
the
done
wording,
enough to
right?
earn it?
I think like you're just getting stuck on the wording
But
of
they're
what they're
saying they're
saying, which I
watching
get.
him in training and they must be thinking, how's he ahead of me? And I'm thinking to myself, what is Smith Rowe and Vieira doing in training that's so much better that they think they should be
Yeah,
starting ahead of
no,
him?
we
Like, you
don't
tell
see
me.
that stuff. Yeah,
Like
but
Eddie
basically,
trains
on
well.
the
Eddie
face of
trains
it,
well. That's why he starts, right?
yeah, on the face of it, I don't think any of, even though Vieira hasn't looked great at left eight and is predominantly probably going to be a right eight, I think any of Havertz, Trossard, Smith, or Vieira kind of have a shot at left eight at the minute, and it's
No, no,
down
I
to
agree. No, no, I do tend to agree. But all I'm saying is I wouldn't be shocked if Martinelli gets benched next game and it's Trossard who starts left wing.
yeah.
So
But again,
it's
it's the
funny how
depth
all
we
the
have,
hate
right?
is on Havertz or Nketiah for missing chances, for example. But when it's our favorite, as I was saying, because I love Martinelli, like I love this kid. Even I myself won't even go close to criticizing him for like
Yeah, I
making a
think
different
it's
decision.
like credit in the bank sort of thing, isn't it? It's because we've
He's
seen
earned a lot
Martinelli
of
do it.
credit with
Yeah,
us.
whereas Havertz is kind of new to us.
That's
Basically, my TLDR is I think Arsenal fans are going really overboard to defend Havertz, and it's okay to
I
admit
guess
that
I think both
deep. I
extremes.
think
So
it's
that's why
more
I'm
like
showing the
just
devil's
if I could just
advocate.
finish that sentence,
Yeah,
is
sorry.
more like deep down, I think we all know we would have hoped to see more
Yeah.
output wise, and we're over analyzing the movement and where he could have been and these small margins because we've not seen what we would have ideally liked if we're all being brutally honest, in my opinion.
That's true, but what player comes in and 2 games in is like a star?
Gabriel Jesus.
Yeah, like apart from him.
No, I know.
That's what I mean. Like how often do you see it happen? Haaland came from a different league, he smashed it. Okay. Gabriel Jesus came in. Mount went to United
Yeah, but
and they
I
but they
think
played him
he's
in a different
fucking.
position,
I
right?
think he's dog shit. That
Yeah,
guy
but he's
anyway.
been playing as a 10 or like a winger at Chelsea and he's come in and being playing as an 8 that he's never played as really properly in that system with Ten Hag. I just
Yeah,
think when someone's playing a position they don't play without the clear first choice 11 around them who are as technically gifted, which is what they've been brought in for. Because do you remember the whole thing was that we bought Havertz and it was like a double transfer? It was him
it
and
was.
Rice.
Yeah, it was linked with Rice and Jesus being there. Yeah, I think that's the thing. Like, I completely get it. I just think it's okay to. It's fine to kind of acknowledge all of these nuances and dependent factors while also just being like,
I just think it's funny because obviously you've gone from starting with him in your FPL team being that bullish, and I'm the one who's defending him, hoping you keep him in
yeah.
your team so I can get a better rank.
No, like I think he'll do well this weekend. I just I don't think it's that deep that I've been disappointed in what I've seen so far.
No,
And
that's fair.
but at the same time, I think the best is yet to come. But yeah, I just personally think Arsenal fans are going a bit overboard on this whole duel thing. Like, I think that's
No, no,
bare
that's true.
yeah,
That is true. But I guess just for me, what that does show is that that idea that he's lazy is
yeah,
maybe
that's a
just the way he
complete myth.
plays. It's like an
Yeah,
aesthetic thing. It's like just the way he looks. Because the jewels, like I think they are going overboard on it. You're right. But it just shows that maybe like he isn't as lazy as people saying. And also, he's covered the most distance of any Arsenal player this season so far. So
yeah.
he's clearly running. It's just not really amounting to fuck all, really, if we're brutally honest, as you said. I just think people are equally going way overboard the other side and saying he's our biggest flop of the season 2 games
Yeah,
in.
and that's the
Two
thing. It's
games
like,
in,
why can't there
like
just be like a middle line sort of? And that's what I'm
where
trying to
yeah,
kind
the
of
middle
operate.
ground
Like,
is we're disappointed
yeah,
and this isn't what we were hoping to have seen yet. And I think I agree with that.
yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Should we look at Fulham quickly and then we'll say hi to a few people?
Yeah, I
So
think just the
Bungle.
biggest news for them is obviously Linha's back, right? That's the
Yeah, that's
biggest
that's
one.
obviously day and night difference for them when he plays, isn't it? Do you want to, for the podcast listeners, do you want to quickly read out their lineup versus Brentford?
Yeah, so it was Leno, Tete, Diop, Ream who got sent off, Robinson, Reed, Lukic, Pereira, Wilson, Jimenez, and Reed. So I don't know who would come in for Tim Ream. Probably Adebayo. Would it be him?
Yeah, because like obviously you could say like it's a miss for them, but then you could argue that like they've been so shocking at conceding chances that like might actually be a blessing in disguise that like just a change to that system injects some more life into the back line.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I hope it's not that.
Yeah, and yeah, I don't. If I'm, maybe it's just being too cocky. I don't think there's much to kind of read into this. I think we'll have them pinned a lot, and I think they'll struggle to kind of get into our half and create many chances. To be honest, I think we'll really suffocate them in this game.
This is why I'm really hoping to see that Partey and Zinchenko at left back and right back.
Also, that you want to
I
see it.
would love to see. I just love because I do think we're just going to play in their half for most of the game, and I would just love to see how that goes for jokes. Like I just want to see like
Yeah,
what does that like. how badly does that disrupt the team? Like, is it even viable? But yeah, I'd be interested to see that. I think let's go to predictions because, as you say, there isn't too much to say about Fulham themselves. But before we predict, let's
This
just
is going to
quickly.
come back to bite us, isn't it? Like we
It
can
is,
just
yeah.
gloss over Fulham and then
Yeah.
2-0
Just
Fulham
gloss over
incoming.
them. They're not tactically great so far. Let's do a couple shout outs before we predict our scores. And you guys in the chat, let us know what you think the score will be on the weekend. So good to see Bungle here, obviously
Hey mate,
tuning in. We've got Plonker as well. Good to see you. Come on, you Gunners. Big
so
win
Aaron.
this weekend. Josh, morning, buddy. Good to see you.
Hey
We've
mate.
got Marco J85. Good to see you. We'll actually answer this question. I think we both expect him to start. It is the short story. So yeah, Marco, we expect him to start. Like I just don't see a world in which he doesn't start with the following game being United. I think we're gonna need him.
And also the type of game we're expecting, right? Just gonna need to unlock a deep block, so suits
By the
to
way,
the T.
Bungle's right and Josh is right. It will probably be Calvin Bassi for Ream.
Ah, cool.
So I remember I
Good job.
saw him actually in UCL Fantasy last year because he was at Ajax.
Yeah.
He's a young player. He's a raw talent. I think he's a good player, but I
He
don't
is.
know if going to Fulham in this situation is going to help him develop right
No.
now.
I did a pod with James on Planet FPL, and I forgot we actually spoke about him. Yeah, he does look like a good player.
He
Forgot
does
about him.
look good. So score predictions so far, we have. Oh yeah, you went for the draw, didn't you? So
I
okay,
went
I
for
was
a
going to
draw
say we
last week.
both have two wins, but okay,
Yeah.
so we got the 2 wins. You got 1 win, 1 draw. We're going into the third one. We've predicted 1 goal against us, which has been
Yep.
correct. And then we both overshot on the number of goals we're going to score with 5 and 4. We've only scored 3. What are we thinking for this one then? I think we're both going for a win, right? So now it's just about.
Yeah.
I'm going for the clean sheet too, by the way, in this one. So I'm going for the clean sheet.
Me too.
So it's just a matter of, this is cocky, as you say. It's a matter of how many goals will we score. This is where we might differ. Let us know in the chat what you think the score is.
This is how I felt going into Forest, and like I think this is where what I want to see in this game is I want that same ball domination we've seen so far in the 2 games, but I want to see the consistent chance creation this time. I want our XG to be like 3 is fuck it. I want our XG to be like 2.8 upwards. I want to have clear-cut chances. I want to have shots on target, and as a result, I want to see like a 3-4-0. So I'm going 3-0 to the Arsenal.
So I would go 3-0 if I was like a betting man, but I'm going to just like throw all logic out the window and go 5-0. I'm looking for like a statement victory. I'm looking for this to be the game like Havertz just pops like brace. I want to see Jesus come off the bench, brace. I want to see Saka pop a penalty and all the Odegaard owners cry. Like I just want absolute maximum carnage. I want Martinelli to assist all
Gabriel
5
header
goals.
from a corner.
Yeah, off the bench as well, like because of that 2 fullback system. Like I just want Arteta to ruin fantasy managers and like just ruin the game, become the new Pep. So this is quite a worrying stat. I also don't like hearing these bungle. Apparently, they have never beaten us away. He says he doesn't like hearing this. Josh says 31 games in a row unbeaten versus. Please don't give me these
That's
stats.
nuts.
That's not what I want to hear going into the goddamn match. Like records are there to be broken, right?
Yeah, that is mad though. Oh, I'm calm with stuff like that. I think bring it
5-0.
on. 32 unbeaten incoming.
Cool. 5-0 and 3-0. Bungle's gone for 2-1 to the Arsenal. I don't know why we will suddenly keep a clean sheet at home. Been a while. That's fair. You say that, but people are going for double Chelsea defense this week at home to Luton.
Yeah.
And I believe Chelsea have kept 1 clean sheet in the last 21 league games. So
wow.
Make of that what you will. Yeah, that is a wild one. Let's, before we say bye, because we are at time, there's always just a quick preview, isn't it? And we'll do the instant reaction. Obviously, I'll be at the stadium, so now I'm going to be the one who looks weird talking into my phone at full time, but I'm looking forward to it. And yeah, I'm just seeing if there was any couple of questions here. So maybe it's just more comments. So we've got Josh saying Bassi looks class, but he treats the ball like a bomb at times. We can definitely set some pressing traps. He also says Tosin is off, I heard. So Tosin's gone.
Yeah,
Bungle,
he's linked with Spurs, isn't he?
Oh, yeah, of course. Bungle was saying the curse of the languid style footballer. Yeah, the Mesut Ozil. Yeah, Havertz, Mesut Ozil. All those lazy-looking guys who don't look like they care. It really comes to bite them. So this is just the final question before we go from Josh. I guess I don't know if it's a question, but it's more of like intrigued to see how something unfolds. So for the podcast listeners, he says, I want to see how Kai Havertz fares when Zinni and Jesus come back into the 11. I had this vision of him crashing into the box and invading space, grabbing a lot of easy high XG chances.
Yeah, that's basically where I'm at. Like I think Havertz is going to be a Xhaka of last season on crack in like the full 11 with specifically Jesus and Zinchenko in the team. That's why I started with him in my FPL team. I think he'll be a very, very good option. Yeah, that's exactly how I foresee it as well.
I guess that's the thing, right? When you've got Eddie versus Jesus, like Jesus will move out of that central zone and allow someone like Havertz to bomb into there. Whereas right now they're just kind of getting in each other's way. And you know, Eddie's a striker; he wants to score. Like he's that type of striker. He's not looking to like pass it around. Like I see some silly pictures of like people saying where he's running on the wing, and there's a freeze frame of the video from the last game, and there's like two defenders. And then there's someone like running on our left wing. I can't remember who's the one running. And they're like, yeah. They've drawn like a wonky curve line. They're like, yeah. Eddie should have definitely made the decision to do this like crazy curve technique pass with like the outside or inside of his boot. And I'm like, there's two defenders in the way. Firstly,
yeah, people play too much FIFA,
like,
man.
Yeah, I'm like, bro, like that. You don't just press square and the ball arrives at the fucking runner's foot. Like, obviously, Eddie ran because he had the ball. He looked up. You get a millisecond to scan. Less than that.
Yeah.
He's looking around. He's seeing two defenders in the way. He ain't going to risk losing position. He's going to go. So I don't blame Eddie for that. I just think it's wild that people expect him to not try to go and take on the shot when that is literally the type of player he is.
Yeah. But now,
I'm intrigued to see what happens with Jesus.
That's exactly how I feel about it as well.
Cool. All right. Well, thank you everyone for tuning in. It was nice to have you all here. Apologies that we pushed it back an hour. But I am now going on holiday apart from the instant reaction. So
so
it's going to be fun.
You're not here for the next 2 or 3 episodes, right?
So I guess the review for Fulham, the preview for United, and then maybe I'll be back for the United review, I guess.
I've got guests lined up, so I'll tweet that all out over the next few days. Like I said, I've been a bit ill, so I've not really had my head in the game. So I'll get that all tweeted out over the weekend. Got some cool guests, some familiar, some unfamiliar.
That sounds fun. I'll be tuning in from Lebanon to see you
guys. Nice one.
I'm gonna have to Mike Halpin as well, by the way. So he's just woken up from working nights. So no worries, Uncle. You can catch this later. Yeah, I think from now on, he's just both our uncles now at this stage. Uncle Mike, I love it. It's such a cool name. I love that. All right, well, up the Arsenal. Come on, you Gunners. Let's go get that 5-0 victory or the 3-0 victory, as Clayton said. And I'll see you when I'm back from holiday, and hopefully it's 12 points on the board by then.
Fingers crossed. Enjoy the holiday.
Crossed.
Up the Arsenal.
Thanks. Come on, you Gunners.